people always ask me to watch more videos about cars for some reason. Like, I always say, you know, I'm not like super into cars myself, or I have no knowledge, but like on the re-upload that I do on the other channel, there's some people that want me to do more car video for some reason, yeah, so more cars it is then. This is why do we love cars? I don't know. I don't think everybody loves cars, you know. As I often say, like I check out the most popular post on Reddit every day, and one of the biggest subreddit is fuck cars. People really dislike cars for pollution, for the noise, for the fact that you need one, you know, often because public transportation is bullshit. So yeah, I don't think everybody love cars. Personally, I like them. I mean, I like looking at them, you know, the cool looking one. I don't really like driving. I mean, you know, I got my license in 2018, was it? So, you know, I've been driving for like 7 years at this point. But I wouldn't say I really like it. Simply because it's so, like, it's so tiring if you're actually really paying attention to everything to not crash or kill someone. Like, it's always kind of exhausting. I don't know. It's not a very passive thing. And when it becomes passive is when you're not paying enough attention. Like, so I don't know. I don't dislike driving the feeling of it itself, right? But I dislike how, you know, it would be easy for me to fuck up and kill someone or kill myself. That's always been the thing, right? That's always been like why I would say I don't really enjoy driving. But I still do like car, and I do actually enjoy like looking at people and motorsport and stuff like that. People who have skills with car and all that. Anyway, enough yapping. So yeah, why do we love cars by Porukyo?
These are two inanimate objects. Inanimate means not alive, lifeless. However, buildings and cars are not lifeless. Look at this. The lights turn on and the lights turn off. Pretty simple, okay. No? Yet, you and I love cars more than buildings. Unless you're an architect, then you probably like buildings more, but that's a very small amount of you, if any. Whereas most of us watching are car enthusiasts. For us, cars mean a lot more than just cars. Many people see them as a means of transport. Others see them as an object. 2 tons of wires, glass, metal, and rubber.
And some people love their car a little more than others. I remember that that guy on YouTube, like it was in some documentary who genuinely is in relationship with his cars, and it wasn't a meme or anything. So, you know, there's Mechanophile who literally fuck cars, and then there's like some other term for people who are genuinely like romantically involved with their cars. That's a thing. For real.
Yet, you and I see them as something alive. This could just be personification, but I'd argue there's more to it. I quoted Jeremy for a reason, because he followed the statement with,
"We have an unshakable belief that cars are living entities." Well, not a Toyota Corolla, obviously, but a real... You can develop a relationship with a car, and that's what non-car people just don't get.
So naturally, as the curious car enthusiast that I am,
but it is the same for many things, right? I mean, so for example, my mom is very like that. She used to have like a specific name for her car, right? And, you know, she got really sad when she had to sell it eventually. I mean, she definitely really liked her car personally, in a sense. But I guess it's the same thing as like many other things, right? Like your PlayStation, your computer, you know, if it's something that gives you a lot of enjoyment, something you really take care of for years, you know, take care of like it's being in good condition and everything, yeah, you automatically will have a condition, like a relationship with it. In a sense, you know, like a lot of objects and stuff like that, you might look at it like that, yeah. My dumbass mouse that I've been using for a while, I mean, it's cheap, it was $15 on Amazon, it's kind of terrible, but I like it a lot because it's been very useful to me. It's a pretty simple thing to understand, I don't know. Like, even if some people don't understand it about cars, I mean, it's really, like, not that hard. I feel like everybody might have some kind of inanimate object that they use a lot, and it means something to them, to an extent. Whether it was a gift, whether it was because they've had it for a long time, whether it was because it was very useful. It's not that hard of a concept.
I simply asked myself a question. Why do we see cars this way? I could simply answer this question now, and I will, because we just do. Click away if that's satisfactory, but if it isn't, then join me on a journey to ancient Mesopotamia, and specifically the Hittite Empire. Damn, I just love Hittite. If you're wondering why we're so far back in time, that's just because there's a slight chance we might see a Dodge Challenger.
It goes to the goo! It goes to the goo!
No, actually it's for this thing. A chariot, a
Chariot.
kikuli, horse trainer. People used horses as transport for war, for everything, and they are said to have revered these animals, treated them with respect. Fast forward a few thousand years, horses have been replaced with cars, and here we are revering them, taking care of them. Isn't it strange? Not one bit. Just like how horses gave a sense of freedom back when tariffs weren't a thing, cars do that today. Having a car is having freedom. You wanna know the first thing I did when I got the realization that I can just grab the keys and actually go anywhere? Grab myself a shawarma if I wanted to? Yeah, I got me a shawarma from Uber Eats. That first drive with this in mind hits different. It's a whole nother feeling, and I can't describe it to you because you just gotta experience it yourself. But if you have,
It is very true. I've talked about it before, but obviously, like, when I got my license and my first car was literally because I was stuck in the countryside, right? Like, to go to any, like, place where there would be a little bit more work and some actual stores or something, it was, like, half an hour away from where I lived. And sure, there was, like, a few bus once in a while, but it was still, like, very limited, so a car is kind of seen as, like, you absolutely need one where I live, where I used to live. So yeah, I guess true freedom. I mean, like, at first I used it mostly to actually get a job like 30 minutes away where I lived, but then eventually, yeah, like, when I got really into, you know, going to like garage sale and stuff like that to buy, you know, like cheap anime, manga stuff like that, right? It was actually like pretty great to have a car, so I could go, you know, way farther than I had been before to like village that I knew the name, but I had never been in like 15 years, right? Because I had the freedoms thanks to the car, right? I mean, I guess, yeah. Cars are great because freedom. That's true. That's true.
you know exactly what I'm talking about. Nobody can tell you anything. Nobody can stop you. You can just drive and keep driving until you're content.
Tell them to
or
the
until you're
cop.
pitted by Georgia State Patrol.
Oh, Lord.
Regardless,
Don't tell
it
me what
almost
to do,
feels as
Mr.
if the
Cop.
world becomes both smaller and bigger at the same time. That's what a car does. Opens up opportunities, opens up thoughts, opens up freedom. This freedom is easily obtained, yet not easy to obtain. Let me explain. Why do we see drivers like these? Because they've got a driver's license. How? Don't ask me, bro. I'm just as confused as you are.
Oh my god.
But they are on the road driving a car, whether that be for the better or for the worse. Which is why I say the freedom of driving is easily obtained, yet the freedom to drive is not easy to obtain. Driving is an art form whether people like it or not. To understand what
skill.
your car will do next, how it will react to the speed you take the corner, how it will react to the way you shift gears, how it will react to getting diesel instead of petrol. The way we drive affects how the car will react. How the car will react affects the way we drive. Isn't it kind of funny? These two things are directly correlated. If my car is acting up a little for reasons that I can't figure out, will I really send it into a bend? If my car is feeling lively and just wants to go fast, will I really drive it like a grandma? Man and machine. The bond between man and machine. It's real. We all bond to our cars in ways we can't sometimes see. If a person gets up at 5, gets ready by 5:30, and heads for work in their base spec Toyota Corolla at 6, that's the bond they have with their car. If a person gets up at 4, gets ready
Sure, but also, you know, again, it's kind of like sometimes it becomes the opposite, right? Like, it's the same way that waking up in the morning, a lot of people don't like the experience. So whatever song you use for that ends up becoming a song that you hate because your brain associated with like the experience of waking up to go to work, which you hate. So like maybe it's kind of similar, right? If you think about it, you know, like I have to take my car to go to work, and the drive to work is probably not a good time, right? So eventually you can associate car with like bad feelings. Yeah. So again, that's why like people get different relationship with their car. Like some people, you know, this doesn't bother them, and so they're really into cars and all that. And some people, like what I just mentioned, plus, you know, the fact that they're extremely expensive to maintain, right? That's probably like the biggest problem with them. You know, which would make me go insane, like when I had one. I mean, you know, the amount of money to maintain them, you know, like just doing the in France we have the control technique, which is like a yearly or bi-yearly, every 2 years or 1 year, kind of like overall check that you need to do, and you need to pay for it. And if there's even like a little thing, you have to basically they don't let you pass, and you have to fix it and then pass again. And all that alone could be like a couple €100. Then also, if you want to make sure that your car is generally in good state every time you go to that inspection, it's good to just do like an overall like revision, like go to the garage and tell them, check if my car is okay overall. But even that, and if they just want to like change the tires, there's gonna be like 400 or something. I mean, for me, I think that's probably why also, yeah. Like first is like how intense it is to drive. You have to trust yourself and everybody else. And the other thing was just like the money pit that it was. I mean, it was truly depressing, the money pit it was, not even talking about gas, right? Just the amount of stuff that you would have to pay every year for it. I mean, like I bought my car for like 5,800 was it back in 2018? No, 2019. That was my second car. And by the time I sold it like 2 years ago now, the amount of like money I'd spent on repairing it, also on like some of the checking and all that, and repairing it, I mean, it was in good condition when I bought it. And it's not like I broke it, it's just like the normal like checkup and stuff that you need to change, right? Like the oil, sometimes the wheels, I had like the brakes that were dead at some point. By the time, I sold the car, I definitely spent more on it in 5-6 years than like the price that I bought it at, which was already like, a good price, I would say. So I think that's another reason why I didn't really enjoy it. Yeah. But it's not like, again, I don't understand why people can end up like having a relationship like that with their car. But for me, yeah, like there was too many things that made me just kind of like hate my car, And the biggest thing was probably definitely like the amount of money sunk into it, I think that was the biggest problem, yeah. I think it's understandable though.
By 4:30 and heads to a mountain pass in their 350Z in order to catch the sunrise by 6, that's the bond they have with their car. One person has the bond that shares those boring moments of their lives, heading to and from work, heading from A to B. Another person has the bond that shares those beautiful moments of their lives, heading to see the sunrise. How many people actually get to see the sunrise next to their car? Not many. You and I decided to share moments that we will cherish when we're old and don't have any teeth. There will come a time when your grandchildren come and ask you, "Old man, what did you do when you were younger?" You'd say, "I took my 350Z and watched the sunrise. I took my car and hit some mountain roads. I took my car and drove where I wanted. I was free, not confined." However, these are just 2 reasons why we love cars so much. 2 valid reasons, important reasons, but there are others that people may relate to more. Tell me something, are cars born? No, they're built, but who builds them? We do. The people who created the cars are the ones building them. Do anything in life, anything. And if you do it yourself, you're gonna have a better connection to it. Look at art, for example. You spend 4 hours drawing something and then put in a prompt and get an AI to draw something else. Which one would you value more? Sure, the AI might look better to some, but we both know that the drawing you made, regardless of how bad it is still worth more. Because you made it. You're connected to it. But in cars,
obviously, it makes total sense that if you're the type to customize your car, be it the interior, the parts or the exterior, whatever it is, you would definitely like it even more, right? Literally, like the difference between, my car has some issues, so I need to pay to fix it. Between my car, I want to customize it, so I pay to customize it. But again, I wanted to do it. It's not that I didn't have a choice, right? Because it's like mechanical issues. So I understand why, yeah, like paying, spending money on your car, but because you want to tune it, makes it a lot more, something you enjoy a lot more, Makes total sense.
It's not just making, because last I checked, I'm not Enzo Ferrari, so why do I love the F40 so much?
Doing good.
Just like we admire the art, we can also admire other pieces of art made by other human beings. And that is what we do. Admire cars, because we admire what it took to build it, the design process, the engineering, and then the cherry on top.
That was something.
If you buy a f***ed-up car and rebuild it, yeah, you're gonna be more than just attached to it. Cars have sentimental value to us, to you and I. My family has used a lot of cars over the years, thus I never really got to build a bond or develop that value entirely. Yet still, there's one car that I think about over and over. Just like that, you probably have a car or had a car that made you feel this way. A car that your grandpa drove, or your father drove, or your mother drove. These cars are cars that have been in the family for a while, and thus, they're kind of like a family member. When you get given one of these, you get given an inanimate object full of memories. You can
My first car was the one that my mom gave me. I didn't buy it. It's the one she had, and when she gave me mine, gave me hers. Her dad gave her one, so he could buy a new one. And the one she gave me was basically like so fucked up. My first car was basically just from like the early 90s. I think my mom already years before giving it to me had bought it for like just 500. It was like beat up to the max. I literally think it would not have passed any of the technical control thing, right? And it was so fucked that basically there was some problem with I don't know which part, but every time I would not accelerate, you know, or I would try to like switch gear, it would stall. So every time you would slow down, not accelerate, you would stall. So anytime I would like slow down for like you know, an intersection, a roundabout, whatever it is, it would stall. So I would need to like quickly put it in neutral, turn the key back in, start again, and accelerate. So the first car I drove was so messed up that yeah, like the way I got used to driving with it was to constantly try to like have a little bit of acceleration going on, and also basically just being used to always trying to like quickly restart it. Every time it would be like a speed bump, for example. I mean, it was kind of a nightmare. Thankfully, I only drove it for like a few months, I would say, but that was one of the first car. Yeah, I wouldn't say I had a great and happy relationship with that car. You know, family car or not.
look at the car and remember times with it, just as you'd look at someone and remember times with them. Isn't that strange? It isn't. Tell me, how could it be strange? If you're watching this video right now, you could be watching something else. Hell, you could be rotting your brain, but instead, you're here listening to me talk about cars because you like them, just like me. And that is special because liking cars is in a way liking yourself. One day, you decided that you liked cars, and that could be for whatever reason. Perhaps you liked how fast they went, or perhaps you liked the way they looked or sounded. But why? Why'd you like their speed? Why'd you like the way they looked? Why'd you like the way they sounded? Because something in your brain, no, something in your heart told you, I like that. You may have woken up that day without caring about cars, but you went to sleep liking them. You developed that liking because when you saw the cars, you felt something. Happiness or a connection.
Beautiful.
Seeing those cars, hearing those cars, they made you feel happy or connected. And that happiness and connection actually means something. Believe it or not,
Sure.
It's actually surprisingly difficult in the modern sense to connect with something. They're just endless things. Fast forward a few years, and driving a car makes you even happier. That feeling of happiness with cars stuck with you and developed and kept developing. Thus, cars became a part of your likes and dislikes, which means one thing. They became part of your identity. Remember
Sure.
that person who goes to work in their Corolla? Yeah, they're headed back now, and on the way back, they just had an accident. They're fine, don't worry, but the car is totaled. This is when reality hits. This entire time, for over 120,000 miles, that Corolla got them to and from work, without a hiccup, without ever letting them down. And now,
I'd be surprised. I'd be surprised. I don't believe that one bit. Like, the true reality would be that, yeah, they got them from work and home all this time with a bunch of problems along the way, a ton of money spent on fixing it, and now it's fucking totaled. That's probably the true story. That might sound like a car hater, but again, I don't actually have car. Just, you know, my own experience and the money pit that the car was, right? Yeah. Which again is why, like, my first car was so fucked up that my second car, you know, I spent an actual good amount of money on it. You know, it was from 2012. It was good quality, right? 5,900, I think I spent on it. And yet I still ended up having quite a lot of issue over the years. So in the end, that's why I was like so, I don't know, disillusioned with cars. Yeah, that's probably what it is.
it's gone. Crashed. They let it down. We are more likely to let our cars down than the opposite way. No matter how many times a car breaks down, when or where it breaks down, it will never, never let you down. Because that's just what
Never
they
gonna
are.
give you
That guy who took his 350Z to see the sunrise, yeah, his car now has a broken door handle, so he's gotta fix it. It's just a little part of the car's personality. So, he goes to his friend who's got a Trackhawk to ask for help, but he realizes that the Trackhawk is missing, and so is his friend. Strange. We are so busy nowadays that we don't actually see the relationships we have with inanimate things. On the contrary, we as car enthusiasts actually understand and cherish that relationship. There's no difference between us and those who think of cars as just cars. We're people at the end of the day. It's just that cars for us mean a lot more than things we sit in and drive. Cars are an extension of ourselves, of our desires, of our likes and dislikes. Cars are us in a weird way. We are the ones who engineered and designed them. How can you not like something that you designed and put together? This was more of a philosophical video than what I normally put together, but it's not often I get those
it's a bit
late
all over
night
the place.
brainwaves.
All over the place, yeah.
Look at this, by the way. This dude is hella talented, and look at these pictures. Crisp, professional. You're gonna find stuff like this on the Tokyo Community Discord, a place where all of us can talk about cars and just enjoy some time. Links in the pinned comment, and don't forget to join and hit that.
Okay, I mean, that was interesting. Definitely a bit over the top, the mix of, you know, like the philosophical part and the more like, you know, real part, I guess. I mean, again, I can't relate myself with my own experience with cars, but we see, you know, as I said, it's not that out of a concept to understand to end up caring about an inanimate object. Now, obviously, you could argue that, you know, like that this is one of the problems with modern society. Maybe, you know, like things were better in the day when, you know, your vehicle was a living being like an horse, and, you know, having like such a relationship with a living being was better or something. But I don't know. I don't think it's such a problem, right? Like there's so many things that people use every day that they might build a relationship to, right? Your pen, your freaking mouse, whatever it is, right? Your damn phone. Yeah, we're pretty simple being, very emotional. So if something like is useful to us, we end up liking it. It doesn't need to be that deep. Like people saying they don't understand why people like car is kind of stupid. I mean, it's fine to not like it yourself, but it's a pretty easy concept to understand. I don't know. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's all I got to say about this one. I mean, very straightforward concept for me. Okay. Alright then. What I can say. Who knows, maybe one day I'll change my mind. I mean, maybe, again, one day I'll get a car again, and maybe, you know, I'd actually enjoy driving and having one, but I'd be surprised. I think at this point, you know, like, for me, the only way that could happen is if I'm rich or something, and then I just don't have to worry about, you know, all the cost incurred with getting a car and all that. Then I would have to get over, you know, how, you know, like I feel when I drive, which is always like, I'm kind of like, I always get exhausted by driving, again, because I'm like always scared of either crashing or someone crashing into me. You know, and I feel like thinking about it, it's all linked to the money again. Like the main reason I was scared back then, and always kind of on high alert, which you can say you should be, because, you know, you have your own life and other people's life at risk. But it was that, for me, it was more like the fact that if I crash, you know, it's a lot of money wasted. You know, who knows if the insurance will take care of it, and then I have to either buy a new car or fix it. Again, it all comes back to money, fucking money. It's all the fault of money. Yeah, that's always money. Yeah. All right. anyway. So yeah, good video.